Hello my friends, today I will be opening a first edition starter Kaiba and Yugi. Yep, and it's 2017, I kid you not. So these are 15 years old, and normally, you're not supposed to open stuff like this because you have a kind of a good chance of losing money, in the sense that obviously people are not they're not worth as much open as they are sealed, which they are here, they're sealed. But the thing is that if you can get these cards, the top ones as gem mint 10s graded by PSA, then you will make money. They'll be worth more. But there's a risk, of course, that the cards are not adequate enough in terms of condition to actually get that 10 rating from PSA. But I'm sort of a daredevil, and I also can't control myself, so there's no way that these are going to survive in my house for longer than a few hours without me opening them. Oh, look at this. $12.99. Wow, this must have been put on there right when it came out in 2002. Wow, very interesting. This one doesn't have any sticker anywhere. But anyways, I've opened one of these Kaiba decks before on one of my videos, and I answered the question of whether you should open it or not, and I basically said that it depends. And that's the same for the Yugi one as well. Whether to open it or not really all depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking to make money, you should probably just try to sell the boxes, unless you want to take that gamble, which is basically the gamble of let's find out what the condition of the top card is. Now you might assume it should be gem mint. I mean, it's never been played, it's never been touched by human hands. That is correct. But again, there's imperfections that you cannot control, that are out of your control, based on printing errors, based on centering, based on what happened to the cards as they were being transferred into the boxes, when they were being sealed, etc. The machinery being used, any one of those factors and many, many others could have contributed to the cards being less than gem mint. Anyways, let's get to the opening, guys, and I think I will start with Yugi this time, and then we'll save the slightly more expensive Kaiba deck for last. And I'm really not as nervous as I was last time opening it, just because, I don't know, I mean, I got these for a really good price. I don't know why I don't feel like saying that what the price is, but I'll say it, okay? I'll do you guys a huge favor of telling you how much I paid for them. Both of them I bought on eBay. Very luckily, by the way, very, very lucky. This what I'm about to tell you does not reflect the actual value of these decks. I got them both for a total of $400. Okay, that doesn't mean you can go out there and tell somebody who has a Kaiba deck, oh, someone bought both at 400, therefore you should drop the price to 200. No way. Okay, this deck right here is like $400 and up. So I just got really lucky. I made an offer to somebody who listed it very soon. I made an offer and they took it. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't really know what went through their heads, but I'm obviously happy about it. I have very little to lose here. I mean, even if none of these get a 10, even as 9s, that kind of make my money back. So pretty much I'd break even. So I'm pretty happy about it. Anyways, just taking a first look at Dark Magician. Again, you have this crazy luster with the first edition ultra rare cards from started Kaiba and Yugi. It's just really shiny. I mean, just very, very shiny, very reflective, the holo foil. Anyways, as I mentioned in the Kaiba video previously, the first thing you want to look at always is the centering. You know, how well is it centered? And this one, just from from a brief glance, looks pretty well centered. But let's get in there, huh? And try to not cut the freaking cards, okay? I mean, if you're gonna use a knife or something, try not to be a barbaric savage. I mean, look at me. I am a barbaric savage. I can't even look. Look at that. I could have damaged Dark Magician right there. Alright, so gonna get in there with the scissors, alright? And by the way, I've opened many of these. Many of these. Kaiba and Yugi's. Kaiba's 5 or 6. Yugi's, I don't even remember. I wish I kept count, but it's been a lot. Like up to 10 total, probably, I've opened of these Kaiba and Yugi decks. Some people might think I'm crazy for doing that, but whatever. I kind of have fun doing it. And I only really do it when I get really good deals on these, which I do. I don't buy them for full price ever, but when I come across a good deal, I'm just always keeping my eyes open. Sometimes these guys come across for just really low prices, and I say, all right, what the heck, let's do it. So anyways, let's take a look at this Dark Magician and see if it's 10 worthy. Just keep in mind, though, that even if I get one of these that's 10 worthy, I'm making profit, okay? None of them and I break even, both of them and it's just ridiculous. So let's take a look at the Dark Magician. It looks fairly well centered enough that the centering is not going to knock it down from a 10. Top to bottom is a little off, but it's not enough that it would knock it down to a 10 in my opinion. So that's okay. The front surface looks really good. No kind of imperfections. I just want to mention something that if you watched my last Kaiba video, the Blue Eyes White Dragon did have like a tiny speck on the hollow foil, and I didn't see it in the video at the time while I was filming it. Just a heads up, if you want to go back and look at it, you can probably see it. It's just like a tiny little thing. It's really not going to stop it from being a 10, as I had declared in the video. But let's look at the back, and the back is usually the worst part. You know, it's the most vulnerable part. It's the part that, from my experience, knocks down 10s to 9s most often. I mean, it's just something is always wrong with the back. Okay, now looking at this one, looking at the back of this one, I do see tiny, you know what? I don't even want to say there anything. Actually, no, I think I might have been seeing things, but you guys can maybe see just like, they're not, I don't want to say scratches. They're like tiny striations. It's really nothing. I mean, nothing that would stop it from being a 10 again. If you look at the corners and the edges in the back, those are really good as well. And the corners and the edges from the front, from the sides, and everything looks really, really good. I don't see any bends, no creases, no scratches, just these tiny little striations, which are nothing really. Well, nothing's really nothing, right? But it's just something that if you looked at it, you wouldn't really say there's anything there. So even PSA, if they looked at it with great scrutiny, this, in my honest opinion, is very certainly going with great certainty, in my opinion, right? I probably going to be somebody who disagrees. With great certainty, it's going to be a PSA 10. Okay, so I'm very happy about this Dark Magician, and I'm fairly certain that it's going to come back as a PSA 10 from grading. So okay, so that's good. So that means I can, it's as a 10, I'd say it's worth at least 400 as a 10. I've sold them before as 10s for more than that. I'm not sure what the population is now. I haven't seen one on eBay for a really long time, a PSA 10 of first edition Dark Magician. So this, I don't know what's going to happen with this one. I have another one going to PSA, so this one's going as well. I think it's going to be a 10, and so that's my money back right there, basically. This thing as a 10, I'll if I sell it for like 450 bucks, even on eBay, after fees and everything, that pays back for both of these decks. So boom, there we go. Now let me just do a quick check of these super rares. Card destruction is also likewise gem in 10, except there's this, you see this right here, just tiny. It's not scratching, it's not staining. It's like I don't want to say scuffing, but it's like a micro scuffing, if anything. It's really, it's not something that would keep it from being a 10. I wouldn't say it's a scratch of any sort, but card destruction, I would say it's also going to get a 10 if graded, which it probably will be. It'll just go in my bulk submission where it costs $7 to grade cards if you send over like 100. Okay, Soul Exchange. Look at these, like it's so reflective. Oh my goodness, it's really shiny. By the way, these I don't know why. I mean, the shininess of these Start at Kaiba and Yugi cards is just something I don't see anymore. I don't see it in the modern cards. I don't see it in LOB either. Actually, LOB is pretty shiny, but this honestly I think takes the cake in terms of shininess. I mean, it is. These cards are really shiny, and it looks great on the ultras like Dark Magician, especially Blue Eyes White Dragon, which we are getting to now. Okay, and this is the rest of the Stardeck Yugi for you guys who want nostalgia out there. Let me just go through it really quickly, super quickly. You can look up what the cards are and stuff, but I'm not getting anything graded from here, obviously. It just wouldn't be worth the effort. Nor am I interested in having them graded. So, all right. Next, moving on to Kaiba Boy. All right, Kaiba, don't disappoint us. Now, this is the bigger catch of the two, and if this one manages to be a 10, then I will have made probably like $600 in profit. I don't want to turn this into all profiteering, you know, like, oh, he's just profiteering, he doesn't appreciate the cards. I love these cards. I remember getting my first Blue Eyes White Dragon when I was a kid. This was probably like 2003, shortly after I came to America. And this is no way to explain the feeling of finally getting it after watching your friends have it. And I traded up for it too. I never was able to buy one of these decks. I never ever bought one of these decks when I was a kid. I never bought a booster pack when I was a kid. I traded up, you know. Some friends gave me some cards and I just traded up all the way. So that's how it happened. Anyways, let's look at this guy. I can see right from the start kind of bad news, which is, I don't know, I can't say certainly yet because I haven't pulled it out, but it looks like it might be off center enough to prevent it from being a 10. So, but as a 9, it's worth about 200. I sold him for 200 as a 9 about a month ago or less than a month ago. So let me just open this. We'll check it out. See how it is. Hope it's not too badly off center, but it does look like it is a little bit. All right, let's look at this, guys. And all right, so here we are. And it is off center, I think, enough definitely to keep it from being a 10. So that's unfortunate, but this is how it goes. This is what I meant, guys. You pull this out, never been played, never been touched by human hands, and all of a sudden, you know, you have a card that is not a 10. So let's look at the back, and the back has something there as well, like a tiny little scratch or whatever the heck it is. So what I'm probably gonna do with this Blue Eyes and actually the corner. So I mean, let me just focus in here. You can't see it that well without being in the right angle, I think. Yeah, it looks good on the camera, but it does have like a tiny little, actually no, I'm sorry, I'm just seeing things. I'm hallucinating. That corner looks fine. There's a tiny little scuff or stain on the back surface in the center. The only thing really that knocks it down to a 10 is the centering. So what I might do actually is just send this card to a BGS. And the reason is because BGS will give it a 9 in centering, I think. I don't think they'll give it an 8.5. I think they'll give it a 9 in centering. And if they do, that's okay, because as long as the other components, which are edges, corners, and surface, get 9.5 or higher, then the card gets a 9.5 gem mint rating. And, you know, it still gets a gem mint score, but from BGS. It wouldn't get that from PSA. And if you try to cross it over from a 9.5 to PSA with a 9 in centering, PSA will say, send that back. We're not giving that a 10. So, I mean, look at the shininess, guys. This is insane. Just super, super freaking shiny. But yeah, off center. So let's see if the other guys are off center as well. They should be. And yeah, the Lord of D is actually not nearly as off center, just a tad. Huh. I always thought it was. Wait. Oh my God. Guys. Okay, you guys saw that. I did not put that in there. I just thought there's 2 Blue Eyes in here. 2 Blue Eyes and 1 started at Kaiba. It's been a mistake. Lord of D, where's the flute or something? No flute. Instead of a flute, another Blue Eyes. Oh my God, guys. This is a historic opening. A historic misprint. A factory error of started at Kaiba. Instead of Lord of D and a flute of summoning, I have pulled from 1 started at Kaiba 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons first edition ultra rares. And one of them is well centered. Looking at the back, it does have a scuff. Okay, you know, mine, it has a scuff. It has a little bit of a stain as well on the back. Okay, look, this is, whether or not this is a 9 or a 10, which at this point is arguable, doesn't matter. This is insane. I've never seen something like this. I don't know who, if anybody has ever seen this before. It's certainly never been recorded on camera, and it just happened right there. You guys saw me open it. I did not put it in there. I pulled 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons from 1 star at Kaiba. Insane. Insane. This is like, wow. I am so glad I recorded this. Honestly, I was thinking to myself, what the heck? I'm too lazy to turn on my camera, put on my tripod, etc. I am so glad this is recorded. 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons from 1 star at Kaiba. Truly a factory error like no other, and such an amazing one. I mean, if it had been two Lord of D's, I wouldn't have cared as much. It would have been an interesting perk. But two Blue Eyes White Dragons? Imagine pulling this as a kid. Or, I mean, imagine pulling this no matter what. I mean, this is just insane. I mean, there's no Flute of Summoning Dragon in here. No Flute of Summoning Dragon. Huh. I wonder if there's another Stardeck Kaiba somewhere where there are maybe two Flute of Summoning Dragons instead of a Blue Eyes. So I'm not sure how the heck this happened when they were printing these cards, but this is truly outstanding in terms of pulls from a Stardeck Kaiba. Extremely. I mean, I don't know what words to use. I don't want to say rare because it's not possible. You know, it just doesn't happen. There's no likelihood of this happening. It's virtually zero. Oh man, this is wow. I don't know what to say, guys. I've said a lot, but the true feeling I have is speechlessness for what just happened there. And it was sitting there, you know, I was looking at Lord of D, and there was another Blue Eyes. I'm sure some of you saw that because I was staring at Lord of D, but I'm sure some of you saw the other Blue Eyes there. It must have been, wow. I mean, and I looked at it and I was like, I thought it was a mistake, or I thought maybe I put the other Blue Eyes on top, and I was like, there's no way, there's two Blue Eyes. And I just flipped out. You guys saw my reaction. I mean, I'm right now just flipping out. Two Blue Eyes White Dragons. I don't know what to title this video. I think I'll have to mention that two Blue Eyes just were pulled from one Stardeck Kaiba. So I guess if you want to open Stardeck Kaibas, freaking do it, because don't expect this to happen, by the way. Like I said, I opened 5. This is my 6th opening of Stardeck Kaiba. And this is the first time. And I'm sure out of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, probably this never happens. If this has ever happened to you, comment. But I mean, I don't know who's gonna be if this happen. I mean, somebody might just lie. I don't know. It just is. My gut feeling is this is one in like a million event. And I guess that concludes the video, you guys. You saw it here. Two Blue Eyes White Dragons pulled from one Stardeck Kaiba. Simply incredible. Wow. Thanks for watching, and I really appreciate your viewership. And this is a moment that will not be forgotten in Yu-Gi-Oh history. Will not be forgotten. I promise you. Okay, Lord of D is gonna have to do without his flute for a while now. That's fine. He'll be fine. He'll walk it off. But these Blue Eyes they need a brother. So hold on, guys. 1 second. So this is the Blue Eyes I pulled from my last opening, which I uploaded, I think, like a few days ago. So there's 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons, first edition. Look at how shiny these guys are. Beautiful. They are all going to PSA. I think these 2 guys are probably 9s, just because one is off center, like I mentioned, and the other one has this scuff right here. You guys see that? A few of my other Blue Eyes, by the way, had the exact same characteristic scuff in the exact same place. And that makes me think that it has something to do with the machinery of when these cards were being moved around, being picked up. I'm not sure. I'm not an engineer. I'm not sure how these machines work when the cards are being packaged and printed and transferred and handled by machines. Obviously not by human hands, but it has something to do with the engineering of the machines that causes a scuff to appear. That seems to be the most likely explanation. It's only because of the consistency. This is the 3rd time I've seen this. This scuff, the same size, the same location, the same characteristics, everything. So I've 2 of them with this exact same scuff at PSA right now. And they're coming back October 4th in my bulk submission. This one is going out to PSA probably in a regular speed submission, which is just 10 business days. I'd want to see if PSA would forgive it and maybe give it a qualifier or something. Or I might just send it to BGS actually, because they might just give the surface a 9 and give the rest of the card pretty much gem mint, or maybe even a 9.5, because it is kind of small in size, and it is on the back. So, I mean, otherwise the card looks pretty good. This right here, I don't know what the heck it is. It looks like a stain. It's not so much a scratch. But anyways, all that is minor details. None of that matters, right? Whether this is a gem mint or not, whether this is a gem mint or not, whether I'll make money or not, none of this matters. The only thing that matters at this point in my entire life is that I pulled 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons from one Stardeck Kaiba. You guys saw it. You saw it happen. And let this be just a record in the books, you know? Let this be a historic event recorded on YouTube of this truly, truly miraculous event of pulling 2 blue eyes for 1 star to Kaiba. And I'm so happy I captured it, and I'm so happy you guys were able to view it and share with me this true enjoyment I've experienced as I marvel in what is probably a statistical impossibility. Oh man, it's just something else. It really is. And again, I really appreciate guys' viewership. Subscribe if you can. I'd appreciate it. And thanks for watching. Peace.